Okay, I've already got it covered, but in the back passenger corner, this area, right back here, is a plug that comes through the firewall, or I shouldn't say firewall, I guess. This is the rear wall, and it unplugs from there. You can cut it off the Baja harness and wire in the rear of the harness for the H6 straight into it. And as you can see, I've got wires. They run right up here, and right back here is where I have the stop turn module. That's what those wires are for. And also there is a black and white, or black with a white stripe, I believe, wire that you will need to run up here to that corner. And that will come to this plug right here. As you can see, the wires right there. You will need to pull this pin out of the Baja's plug and put it in this one. This side of the harness has the wire, this side does not. That is for the trailer lights, if you care. And then the other wires, as you can see, I've got them run up into the middle, and they go to tie in to the hazard switch back here for the stop turn module. And then I've also pulled some wires off for the illumination for my cargo light switch, which I got this pocket for. Came out of a VDC H6, so that's where the VDC button was. And then the other wires you will need to run up here. As you can see, here is the red wire I was talking about on my Facebook post. And it ties into this red wire in this plug. You'll need to pull that out of the Baja's harness as well and place it in here. These are really easy to pull out if you have small enough tools to hit the little plastic pins to let them pop out. This piece right here actually hinges up, and then you can just use a little thing to pop the pin out, put the new one in, no problem. There wasn't actually one in that spot. That is for the cargo light. I plan on using the Baja gauges, so I will have a cargo light indicator, so I put it back in the correct place for that. Let's go around to the other side of the car. Okay, and then what I did was you have your relay block here. I pulled this relay, I believe it is, or maybe it's this one of these two, out of the Baja's relay block. There's not that many in the Baja. Then I pulled the pins out of the back of it, put it into this one, popped the relay in, wired the wire for the cargo light and the red wire, different things down here to this relay. The service manual has everything labeled. And then all you need to do is get power. So there were some extra wires over here in the Baja's harness that were not being used, obviously, anymore. Pulled them out, popped them in here, so I could put, zoom in there, so I could put a fuse in it. And then I wired that back here into a constant 12-volt source. There's actually a non-used plug that has two 12-volt sources in it, and you can just tap into those any way you feel. I pulled a plug off of the Baja harness that clicked right into it and spliced into that so that I would have neater looking connections. I do have a couple things to possibly move in and out of this harness, and maybe one of these harnesses. I've got to trace them out to figure out if I actually need them or not. And I am having a problem with the trunk indicator light not lighting up when that pass-through is open. I've got it hooked to the trunk indicator line, but it is not doing anything. I do not know why. They are the same polarity. It's just a little switch that grounds out when it's open, just like the trunk indicator. But it's doing nothing. And that's the wiring that you have to do in the cab. As far as in the engine bay, you will have, it's a little darker here, these two wires, or plugs. One is the reverse indicator and one is the neutral indicator. Those should be relatively easy to wire up to the shifter selector harness, which I'll show you in a bit. And then you have, where is it at? Where did I plug those in at? Well, it's around here somewhere. There they are. I keep zooming things, sorry about that. It's just the way I hold the phone. You get this plug and its companion here that go to the automatic transmission, which we do not need. And then back down in here, which you can't see, there is the speed sensor, which we have to figure out how to get that going because the automatic has 3 and the manual has 1. So as we can see over here, lots of schematics. Got some diodes to play with the speed sensor since there are 3. This is a resistor box. There's one, so I can get that to zoom. Well, piece of shit camera. One 1.5K ohm resistor per solenoid. I just clipped this harness right off the transmission since I didn't need it. Wired it in here, soldered them straight up, and then this single side is a ground. These 2 wires that are left over are for the automatic transmission fluid temperature sensor, which requires a 300 ohm resistor. All this information I got off of a Scooby Truck or Dirty Impreza forum or something, I can't recall. Here's the diagram for the neutral position setup. And I thought I had another one for this thing, but maybe it's just on my computer. Pretty easy though. You've got, let's see, transmission indicator here. There you go. Solenoids and temperature sensor right there. Those are what you're wiring up to those resistors. Here's my 2 sets of gauges. I'm just comparing things as I go. And then here is the pigtail for the indicator selector, which I get to wire 2 things up for the reverse and neutral. And that's the end of our story today. Thank you, and good night.